the Scoop Slam Podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Scoop Slam Podcast. We're here once again going over BackLash, going over WWE Monday Night Raw. No rumors this week because it was a jam-packed weekend. And the Lakers are up 3-1 on the Warriors and looking to close it out tonight. Wednesday is the day that we're recording. Before we get too far into the show, let me go ahead and roll out the red carpet for my co-host, the statistician of the Scoop Slam Podcast. It's Ryan.
Yo, Micah. Great to be back here with you, man. Another week of scooping, another week of slamming.
It was a long weekend. Did you do anything fun aside from watch BackLash?
Man, it was a chill weekend. I didn't do much.
I went and seen. Well, I was gonna say I went and seen the new Guardians movie that came out Saturday, or it came out Friday, but I seen it Saturday.
How was that?
It's probably the best Marvel movie since Spider-Man. I really liked it, at least.
High praise, man. I really like that Spider-Man movie too.
It was good. So
I'd check it out.
Take your girl out to the theater.
I had to check it out.
And it's getting a lot of good reviews and crap, which is pretty funny because, Chris Pratt gets a lot of hate, but he's got like the top 2 movies right now in the world. He's got Guardians and the Mario movie, which the Mario movie was pretty solid too. I seen it.
Yeah, but man, the problem with modern day movies, I don't know. It just seems like it's oversaturated with just sequels or existing IPs or superhero movies. That's how I say that.
No, you didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, man. Just I don't know. Where's all the original ideas?
Well, the Mario movie was not an original
IP.
idea, but they didn't have a Mario movie. I know. I see your point though, because it's all superhero movies, or they all follow the superhero movie format, where like hero is introduced, villain is introduced, hero goes to fight villain, hero fails, hero goes through troubling times, and then something rejuvenates him to beat the villain at the end. That's every movie now.
Yeah, man, or all the remakes too. Like, what happens to just a movie hour and a half long? You got a baby face you can cheer for throughout the movie. He has triumphs and tragedies along the way, and eventually conquers it in the end with an original story. Can we not have that anymore?
I guess not. I'm trying to rack my brain and think of the last movie that I went to see that was original. Like, wasn't a superhero movie, wasn't a remake or anything.
And tell me, Micah, what happened to the comedy movies? You remember the mid-2000s? They had the golden age of comedy movies. Where are all the comedies now?
Oh, you know why. You can't make jokes anymore.
That sucks, man.
That's another thing. I couldn't even tell you a single comedy movie that came out.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, just the mid-2000s had so many great comedy movies.
Happy Gilmore, Wedding Crashers,
Step Brothers.
Yep.
Superbad.
Get 'Em to the Greek.
Yeah, man.
Hangover.
Hangover 2. Man, it's I don't know, man. I don't like the way movies are heading right now. Yeah, superhero movies are cool in small dosage, but if you got so many in the theaters and they come out every other week, I mean, what's the rule of wrestling? How can we miss you if you don't go away?
Exactly. I think the only thing I can think of that I saw 2022 that was original was maybe Nope.
Yeah, that was good.
Which, I mean, it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
See, like that ain't even that Mortal Kombat movie. I was gonna say I saw that, but again, it's not original.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Just no more original ideas in Hollywood.
Well, there's no more original ideas in wrestling either, but we got to talk about them regardless. But it was a pretty good pay-per-view this weekend on Saturday.
Yeah.
WWE presented BackLash from Puerto Rico, and that crowd was insane. We texted about it a little bit earlier, this past week, but all time, where does that Puerto Rico crowd rank for you?
It's top 2 for me, man. I probably put the Canadian Stampede show from '97 above this, but if you put this number 1, I wouldn't argue you. But the Canadian Stampede show, I put it number 1 because literally throughout the show, you could see the camera shaking. Like the crowd was electric for Bret Hart when he came out, and all the Hart family really. But this Puerto Rico crowd was built different, man. They were into everything, even like every strike they would make the sound effect. You know what I'm talking about? Where they would go oof, oof. And you don't hear that from modern crowds anymore. Like they were into everything.
And they counted every single count.
Yeah.
Uno, dos, like every single time.
Yeah.
There's a couple crowds I'd put over it, like One Night Stand. Obviously not as loud, but what's the word I'm looking for? Raging.
Yeah, it was electric atmosphere.
But
whoa.
Think.
Oh, hold up, Micah. That's an ECW show.
Well, WWE CW.
I need that. Okay.
I'm trying to think. I had another one on my mind.
Money in the Bank 2011.
Yes, that was it. Yeah,
because or Punk. Yeah.
But the thing about the Puerto Rico crowd was they were so hot all night. Like I could think about that Atlanta crowd for Nitro when Goldberg won the belt, but they weren't like that all night.
Yeah. They were all in for the whole 3 hours. Yeah, I like stuff like that though.
Yeah. I would say top 10 bare minimum, maybe top 5. I'd have to sit down and look at it.
Yeah. But man, electric crowd makes the shows a lot better.
Absolutely. It made some of these matches more tolerable than they would have been otherwise, and that helped the first match that we're going to get to, which still was pretty good. For the WWE Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. And, also, they did the drone shot from SmackDown. I thought that was really cool, too.
Yeah.
But, a really good match. I thought it was going to be a good match. The story has not been great, but it still exceeded my expectations. Same with the other women's match later in the show. But before we get too deep into this match specifically, I wish that WWE did something to make their weekly product more interesting, because every pay-per-view that I've watched from WWE, I mean, what was before Elimination Chamber? Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Then before that was
they didn't have one.
Survivor Series.
Yeah, they had Survivor Series.
Like, when's the last, other than maybe night 2 of WrestleMania, just because of the ending? What's the last bad pay-per-view you can remember that you just walked away from and you're like, I just wasted 3 hours?
Let's see. October had Extreme Rules. I thought that was pretty good. Had the Bray return and stuff. September was Clash. I remember we liked that.
Great pay-per-view.
July was SummerSlam. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
The one
I
right
think it's
before,
that Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I think the Money in the Bank had that. It had maybe one good match, the Street Profits versus the Usos, but it wasn't enough to save the whole card.
But that was the last Vince pay-per-view.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yep. When you look at the stats, because if you listen to the show long enough, obviously, I don't love every single WWE show. We dragged the draft one 2 episodes ago. But their pay-per-views are so good. Something about the atmosphere and the strip backstage, this made me feel like a 2000s pay-per-view.
It doesn't get interrupted with commercial breaks, and which is what I think. I mean, it hampers them on Monday and Friday because you got commercial break every time an entrance happens, you come back and they're either halfway through the match or the match ain't started. And then if the match hasn't started, you know it's only going to go like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, ruin the momentum of the matches on the pay-per-views.
Plus, I mean, I know all the matches on the pay-per-view feel meaningful. And I know not all the TV matches can feel meaningful, but usually it's like the main event is halfway meaningful and everything else is just kind of, or it's very predictable.
Yeah. And man, they always hit it out the park with these pay-per-views. they got great wrestlers. I mean, shouldn't be a surprise.
That's true. And again, we'll start off with this match with two great women's wrestlers. And, if this is your first time listening to the Scoop Slam podcast, we got a system. We give our scoops. That's our positive thoughts or things that we, liked from the match. Our slams, our negatives, or, the things we didn't like from the match. So, for Backlash 2023, Bianca Belair versus Io Sky, what you got for a scoop, Ryan?
Man, I think we both had this, but it was a really good match. It's probably EO's best match on the main roster so far. This was a star-making performance from EO. The crowd was electric for EO too. Like, I don't know where the popularity is coming from EO, but man, every strike they were cheering her, and every time Bianca would cut her off, they would start booing Bianca. They would chant EO. Man, it was a good match overall, and I think EO looked well in there. So that's my only scoop for the match.
If she had a good enough manager, I think she could do well. I don't think the Bailey pairing has done her any favors, but obviously she can't fully speak English, so there will always be the language barrier, but she's good in the ring.
But Micah, who can you name that has ever had what woman has had a manager that has worked? Has that ever happened?
Well, I guess you got a point.
I'm trying to think. The beautiful people in TNA had Billy Gunn, but I don't think he was like a manager.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like a tag along. I don't know if he was he wasn't really cutting promos for him.
Rhea's got Dom.
Okay.
But that's kind of a weird dynamic.
Yeah. I guess China had Eddie.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe you got a point. I guess. I mean,
often.
And the women's division can normally get away with not having great promos anyways. I think Bianca's good on the mic, so don't take this the wrong way when I say it. But she's not just, Roddy Piper out there or anything.
Oh, of course not. No.
So, I don't know. I could see her being something maybe. She'll probably get a run with the belt eventually.
Bro, everybody will. There's 12 women on the roster.
Well, yeah, I guess we can put it like that.
Unless you're Dana Brooke, you're going to get a run with the title.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to her later. But the only scoop I had from this one, we both kind of shared these, so I agree with you on that. The crowd made this better. The crowd was super hot, and it definitely helped, because if they had been out of it, I think I would have been, less into it.
Yeah.
So, but like you said, hanging on the edge of their seat for every strike even just made this match so much better. For the slams, I'll go ahead and start us off. I think the run-in kind of halted this a little bit. I just didn't really care for it. I think it took the momentum away from the match, basically. And the people, I think they lost them for a little bit. They got them back for the finish. But this, again, I think EO is hampered by damage control, because Bailey, to me, her comeback run has not been good. Mm-hmm. And Dakota is just somebody I would say is painfully mid-card, I guess. I could never see her with the world title.
Not at all. Man, they're sowing seeds for a breakup that nobody cares about. Like, I don't care if damage control. I would rather damage control breakup, actually.
Exactly. Because Bailey just has not. It was okay when the feud with Bianca, a lot of withs, Um, it was okay then, and then I remember when we took the hiatus, and I kind of got away from watching the product. You were like, "Man, Bailey's intolerable now," and I was like, "What?" I kind of liked her, and then we came back, and it was the Bailey Becky feud, and oh my god,
Yeah,
and just she's like Seth Rollins, but
way less over.
yeah, and her only insults idiots. I'm not saying you gotta curse or swear every 5 seconds to get an insult across, but like, come on now, I'm not five. You can say something other than idiots or stupid. Yeah, I don't know. It just comes off kitty, and she has lost steam to me.
Yeah, and speaking of losing steam, man, I think Bianca's title run has kind of lost a lot of steam. Does WWE have a problem with long title runs?
Right
Like,
now, yeah.
bro, think about it. Roman is going on his 3 year long world title run. You got Gunther that's been champ for how many months? 10,
Over a
11?
year.
And then you got Bianca that has broken the women's championship record. Bro, it's just Usos. The Usos were champs for about a year and a half, 2 years.
Longest tag champs ever.
What do we really need all these long reigns? Can we get some? I'm not saying everybody drop the strap after a month, but can we mix it up a little bit? Can somebody? Can we play hot potato with the title for a little while? I don't know, man. It's just I don't I don't like that multiple divisions have long-term champions like that.
And Rhea just won her title, so it's gonna
It's gonna be a while.
be yeah. I
Yeah.
think I think it's partly Triple H is trying to bring back some prestige
Yeah.
because they've been hopped around so long.
But
But
at a point though, Micah, like then the matches become too predictable because well,
yeah,
they're probably not gonna lose. I mean, they keep on spouting these records, and they're certainly not gonna take the title off them when they gotta break this other record coming up. I don't know, man. Just makes the product feel kind of stagnant too.
I feel like the only belt that's really changed constantly has been the US belt.
Yeah.
And but even now Theory's had it for a couple months. Which again, I'm not asking them to drop it, but like, what's their next pay-per-view? Night of Champions?
Yeah.
I don't know who's on SmackDown, but Bianca should drop it to me before SummerSlam.
Hey, to you, she's gonna drop it to you, Micah.
No. I think I'd have to go through quite a few processes before I was in the women's division. But I think that she should drop it before SummerSlam because, well, I don't know. Because Roman's not going to drop his belt, obviously.
We think. I don't know.
Well, I would
don't
say
know.
probably not. I think they're going to save it for Mania.
It'll be Money in the Bank. Cody gets it and then cash it at SummerSlam. Could be.
I think for Cody's sake, they need to do that. But for Roman, for that belt and their ultimate plan that's been going on for years, we're only in the third inning. I don't think that it's a SummerSlam worthy in their opinion. Gunther's going to keep his because SummerSlam is too close to the record, and I think he'd have to go to September to beat the record. So it's like a month. You might as well let him keep it. Rhea's not going to lose hers, so that leaves Theory or Bianca to lose it at SummerSlam. So maybe you have them hold it till SummerSlam. I was thinking maybe Bianca lose it to a credible women's challenger at Night of Champions, have the rematch at SummerSlam. But then what do you do with Bianca after?
I don't know, man. It's tough, but they gotta do something about that because I don't know. I'm a little burned out of seeing Bianca as champ, and she's the Raw
Yeah.
Women's champ, isn't she?
Right now, I don't know what their plan is. They haven't said anything because Monday was the first official day of the draft or the hard brand split, and they didn't do anything about the belts then. And Rhea was on the show defending, so I don't don't know if they're gonna do the little handoff that they've been doing, or if they're gonna just say your reign is continuous through today, and we're just swapping the names of it. I have no idea.
You know what I think they should do?
What you think?
I think they should change the names of the women's titles. Like, don't have brand exclusive SmackDown Women's Champion, Raw Women's Champion. Just call it the World Women's Champion or the WWE Women's Champion. You know, Universal Women's Champion. I don't know, man. Why can't they just do that?
I think it would be better. I don't know what you would name them.
Remember last time they did a switcheroo with Becky and Charlotte, and that kind of sucked, man.
Yeah, that was weird too. Remember they had like a weird beef or something about because like Becky didn't want to drop it because she thought, or maybe it was Charlotte. One of them thought it was stupid, and then it was Charlotte. She wouldn't let go of it, and Becky was trying to grab it, but like you could tell they didn't plan that. I don't know. It was weird.
They both threw their titles on the ground.
Yeah.
Like, okay, piece of crap title then.
But speaking of a new champion, the next match was Seth Rollins versus Omos. It was pretty good. I mean, I was morbidly curious as to what it was going to be, as I kind of am with all the Omos matches, but it wasn't great, and I don't like Seth. The build sucked. This was just here for no reason, but I mean, they did a couple cool things. The right guy won. That's all I really have to say about it. I got a couple scoops, though.
Okay, you can go ahead with scoops.
All right. I'll just hit you with a double stack. Yeah. I liked Omos stopping Seth's curb stomp when Omos was just on like his hands and knees. Because that added an element like to Omos that I think is different. Obviously, he's 7'3".
He's giant, yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of played into that. Not everybody's that big, so not everybody's going to be able to stop the curb stomp that easy.
Yeah.
So I like that little spot, and just hard Seth carry, and props to him for being able to do so.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay, you act like Omos.
I thought he did okay in this match. I actually did. I hate just bury your double stack like that, but man, come on now. Omos, you see that like that snake eyes he hit?
Yeah.
Like Undertaker used to hit. I thought that looked pretty nice, man. It was a good big man, little man match. I thought Omos did his job well, and I thought Seth played the role as a underneath babyface well in this match. I thought they worked well together.
I think surprisingly they had good chemistry. I don't know. You put Omos in there with how many people now, and it's just been and then he has like one good match with Seth. Well, what's the outlier here? It's not Omos.
Well, maybe he's getting better, man. Maybe it might be too late to take him as a threat, but he's working weekly. I think he's working house shows. He's working TVs. People get better over time. He probably would never be like a guy like a Big Show, like a first ballot Hall of Famer, but
no,
they'll probably get a couple more years out of him. He'll have a solid career.
He could probably get a good mid card run, I think, like with one of the titles.
He needs to beat people though. He only beats jobbers.
Yeah.
He doesn't beat any credible main event guys, which is a slam I have too. You can't take him serious, man, if he's just gonna look up at the lights at every upper card guy. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that?
Every big match he gets, he loses. Like he'll win on the weekly TV, and then they pair him up against like Roman Reigns. Oh well, obviously he's not gonna beat Roman Reigns, but like let him beat a Finn Balor, let him beat a Miz, let him beat a Shinsuke or a Karrion Kross or whoever. I mean, these Sheamus even, some of these upper mid-card guys, and then even if he did job at the pay-per-view, it can't be all the time, but it'd be like, well, he has beaten these people. But like, remembering off the top of my head, who has he beaten? AJ Styles, maybe?
On pay-per-view?
Yeah.
Did he beat Bobby that in Saudi Arabia? Nah, Bobby had a match for. Oh, did he? I don't even remember, man. I can't name one.
I don't think he beat Bobby.
They had that one match at WrestleMania, but Bobby won that, I believe. Didn't he?
I'm pretty sure.
Man, I really can't tell you the last time he won on pay-per-view.
That's what I'm saying. Or just even beat like anybody credible.
I think the only credible guy he's beaten is probably like Ricochet or something, I guess. I don't know. He beat Braun? No, Braun beat him. God dang, I don't know, man.
He's a perpetual jobber.
Yeah, I guess so, man. I hate to say it, but because he seems like a nice guy, but they just, man, he's beating like a drum.
Well, I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying,
Look,
got to call a spade a spade.
I hate to say it, man, but yeah, you're right.
I'm looking at his record.
No, come on. He
Oh
beat
my
somebody, right?
God.
He's beat somebody.
I don't like. Okay, he beat R-Truth a lot, and Apollo Crews and
Okay.
Reggie.
Oh man, all the black talent, huh?
Well, not Montez Ford.
Oh man.
Yeah, Omos defeats AJ Styles on a Raw in March of 2022.
That's his biggest match, yeah.
I think.
His biggest win.
Yeah, because I think that was after, like, right after him and AJ split. And that's the only thing I see out of him.
Jeez. Yeah. Wow.
How have they managed to kill a 7? I mean, and I know he's not like a great worker or anything, but I mean, he has not beaten anyone. Johnny Gargano.
Okay.
He lost to Bobby Lashley a bunch. Then he would beat Mustafa Ali, beat Elias, beat Ziggler, lost to Brock, beat Elias, beat Elias, beat Elias, beat a
No, come
jobber,
on.
lost to Seth.
Yeah.
Poor Omos. But anyways, for this match, yeah, you got 2 scoops, don't you?
Yeah, I got scoops. Omos's best match so far. I really enjoyed it. And
Absolutely.
I think, man, I laughed really hard, like legit belly laughed when he just big booted Seth Rollins while he was taking in all those cheers. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, at the beginning, he got some
Yeah.
some boost points for me for that one. I was like, maybe this Omos guy ain't so bad.
It came out of nowhere because Rollins was under a spotlight while he was getting serenaded with his theme music. You know, just big boots.
I think they're doing that permanently now because they did it on Monday too.
Yeah, I saw that. I don't
But
hate it, man. Yeah, it works. People like it. Give it to them.
I don't like it, but he's over. So what can I say? I guess for the slams, yeah. Let's move on. Just this match being on the card, that was the only thing I had. It wasn't a bad match, so that's not what I mean, but just the build was non-existent. They did nothing to explain it. And, I'll knock AEW for it, so I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to knock WWE for it, too.
They explained it.
How did they explain it?
MVP explained it on SmackDown. You skipped it. He came out and said he negotiated because he wanted to get Omos a marquee match on the pay-per-view. You skipped it.
Okay, you should not be able to negotiate pay-per-view matches. Like a TV match.
He's
okay.
His agent.
Yeah, but hey Adam Pearce, can I get a match with Seth Rollins tonight? Okay, well, maybe we can give you 15 minutes. But like 3 weeks out, hey, can I get a pay-per-view match? A payoff? Like, you know how many guys could have worked for that? I don't know. That's not a good enough reason for me.
I didn't mind it.
You got any slams for this?
Yeah, I touched on it earlier, but I just can't take Omos as a credible wrestler. He can't beat anybody.
Yeah.
But that's it. Yeah.
For the United States Championship, it was Bobby Lashley versus Austin Theory versus Bronson Reed. And again, a match with not great build, but I was curious to see Bronson Reed in this light. And I'm sick of seeing Bobby and Theory. And I thought it was over with, that feud, because I thought they were getting split in the draft. And I was sorely mistaken when I think it was Corey Graves or one of them said that they're both on SmackDown now. They have been feuding as long as I can remember over this belt.
They took a little time off, and Seth and Theory feuded over the belt, but yeah. Yeah, they feuded at Money in the Bank 2022. They had a match. Bobby won.
Yep. And then Theory got inserted into the Money in the Bank match and did nothing with it.
Well, he got beat up a couple of times. Well, a lot of times. It was like every week he got beat up.
Every time.
Yeah.
He got punched by Tyson Fury. That's all I remember.
I remember Brock flattening him at SummerSlam too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also, I know we're kind of on the same TikTok spectrum. I get so many Austin Theory TikToks.
About that song?
From this guy. Yes, with the freaking, is it Usher? Is it an Usher song?
I don't know, man. I'm confused as to where the origin is.
I have no idea. I think the account is like Theory Pill, but I'm serious, every time I open up TikTok, it's in the first like 5 that I hit. It's just A-Town, down, I be popping bottles, and I'm like, I already know what this is gonna be. It's just a stupid Austin Theory edit.
I saw one earlier that said WWE 2K23 just updated the jukebox for Austin Theory's new theme, and it just came up again.
Yep, I saw that.
Oh man, yeah.
I guess we're Theory pilled.
Okay, all right. I don't hate it. I like Theory.
As much as I say that's crap about it, I sit there and watch every single one that comes up on my For You page.
I'm locked in. I ain't skipping it. I got a soft spot for the song now, man. I don't know. Maybe you should come out with it.
It is kind of catchy, now that I think about it. Anyways, though, as for the triple threat match,
how do we get on that?
Yeah, I don't know. It flowed, and this match flowed right on through because it was short and sweet, and that was one of my scoops. It didn't overstay its welcome, and that was good enough for me because you got 2 big old hosses in here like Bobby and Bronson. Theory, he can go with the quicker guys, but he's still kind of big, I would say.
Yeah, he's a big dude, about 6'2", 6'3".
So, yeah, I thought the length of the match and everything that they did in terms of like big move here, big move there, it was well paced and didn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah, agreed.
You got anything for this one?
Yeah, I got one scoop, man, but like you said, it was quick. It wasn't nothing like great about this match. The crowd was into it, but Reed delivered a Vader bomb to the outside. Do you remember seeing that?
Yeah.
Never seen a Vader bomb delivered like that.
It was kind of weird because it hit Bobby in the shoulder and not the, like Vader would do it obviously to the chest. But
at first I thought he was going for the moonsault, but then he did the Vader bomb. And I'm like, well, he probably can't hit no moonsault. That's a big dude. But then he hit a moonsault later on in the match.
Yeah. He's really agile.
Yeah. For a big dude, yeah.
I like him. I think he's got a bright future. And, continuing on bright future, I'll round out the scoops. I really like Theory showcasing his strength and winning here. I think the best possible choice for the win was him. But when he picked up Bronson Reed, it was just for a second, and then Bronson slid off. But I don't know. He's jacked, don't get me wrong, but he's deceptively strong.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I liked parts of this. I wouldn't tell you to go back and rewatch it or anything. There was nothing crazy
Oh,
going on, but
it was
solid
decent.
match overall. And the only slam I had was that Bronson ended up taking the pin. I know what they were going for, but first it's a heel pinning a heel. So I don't really care for that. But I think that Bobby should have taken the pin here. I know they probably are wanting to use him in a better light, maybe, or like they're shifting him towards Roman. I think that's where they're going next.
Mhm.
But I don't know, man. I think Bobby could have taken the pin and it wouldn't have hurt him at all compared to Bronson Reed. That's, I think, the first time he's been pinned since he came back. I don't know. I just didn't care for that part of it.
Yeah, it didn't bother me as much, man. You really, if Theory was gonna win, I mean, he had to pin somebody. I mean, Bobby has been protected as the main event guy his whole run, pretty much back. Bronson still new. He hasn't really been here that long, so I don't think a loss to Theory and nefarious fashions would hurt him that much.
Let me ask you this, because I just thought of it while we were kind of going back and forth about this match. If Bronson is still on Raw, could you
Yeah.
see him and Gunther at SummerSlam?
Hmm. I wouldn't hate it, man, but maybe it's too soon to turn Bronson.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about them both being heel.
Yeah. I
I
don't
do
know
want to
though.
see that match down the road, though.
Yeah, it'd be a good match, but I don't know who would work babyface there.
Maybe Bronson. I don't know. I can't see Gunther as a babyface. Nothing about
Ooh,
him
not right now.
looks. No. Even his face, though. I mean, Bronson, I don't know. I could see him as maybe like a. Maybe. Well, I don't know. Brock is still kind of goofy sometimes, but he's bulletproof because he's Brock Lesnar.
Well, could you have seen Sheamus as a babyface when he first got to the master?
Well, I guess that's true.
Yeah, he got over for a little while as babyface.
I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. But overall, somewhere down the line, I would like to see Bronson Reed versus Gunther for the. Well, it don't even have to be for the title, but
Yeah.
speaking of for the title, next up, close to match of the night for me, but it wasn't obviously for
Oh,
the match that was going to follow this one. Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and again, Rhea Ripley is. She might be the greatest women's wrestler of all time in the ring alone.
wow. High praise.
Okay. Let me just say this. I'm never interested in a Zelina Vega match. I'm not trying to take away from her. I'm not trying to knock her.
Hey, just bury him,
But
Michael.
okay, tell me a Zelina Vega match you've been interested in.
Well, when she won Queen of the Ring, I thought that was a pretty decent match for what it was. It's her versus
Okay.
Pipe, her versus Dewdrop. I thought it was okay. And then she got that cool theme afterwards, Micah. You remember that theme? When she had the dude narrate her song?
Yeah, the guy from Naruto.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I thought you would like that.
Like the song, but that don't mean I like her in the ring. It's
She's
like
not bad.
Seth. I like
She's
him in the
not
ring.
she's not bad. She's just short. AJ Lee
And
was short. You like her in the ring, didn't you?
okay, yeah, but AJ was decent in the ring.
So is Zelina.
I don't know, man. Hard Rhea carry,
Oh,
but
come on now. Stop. Come on.
no, I'm for real.
All right. Go ahead.
Rhea is probably the greatest women's wrestler in ring.
It, it's up. She's up there, man. She's only been here for a couple years, but she's had a long list of really good matches. I give you that. I can't dispute it.
I would say maybe Charlotte.
Yeah, that's a good little shout out. Sasha Banks, maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. But anyways, we'll get to the match. For the scoops, I'll let you start us off for this one. And yeah, because you got two and I got one.
Yeah, man, I'll hit you with a double stack. I thought the flip flop spot was pretty well done. You know, if you're a native Puerto Rican, you know about the flip flop spot. Apparently, it's the thing they do over
Hey, even
there.
if you're not a native.
Oh yeah, even if you're not native, man, there's a lot of Spanish heritage people that still practice the flip flop method. Well, you want to explain it to our listeners, Micah? You want me to give a
So
go ahead. You're
yeah.
better. You're better at explaining things. You're the explainer here of the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, you're the statistician. So basically, it is commonplace in a Mexican family for a Mexican, or well, not Mexican, Hispanic. I'm
Latino.
sorry, Latino.
Latino.
Yeah. For them to throw a flip flop at their kid as a sign of discipline, or just
Yeah.
kind of in a joking way too. And it's called a chancla. And so that was the spot here. She got the chancla and she threw it at Rhea, and it was good. It was funny, but not like too goofy that it took away from the match. It wasn't like she threw it at her and Rhea sold it like she got hit by a missile. It was just a funny little spot, but I liked it.
The crowd came unglued when she pulled out that flip flop, though. It was
Yeah,
probably
they did.
top
They
three
which
pops of the night.
they made the whole top four.
Okay.
We got three entrances in the next match that were
Right.
top 10 pops of the year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good, and the crowd again made this match better as they did the entire show. But they were huge for Zelina.
Yeah, especially on the after the match, they cut Rhea's music and the camera came back to Zelina and they just gave her an ovation like Ric Flair retiring in 2008. It was man, it gave me goosebumps. It was like 18,000 people just clapping and showing her love. I'm sure it meant a lot to her because they said during the match that this was the first time her family has seen her wrestle live. So I'm sure it was a big
Wow.
deal for her. Yeah.
Yeah, and her entrance was really cool too. She had the flag like on a. It was kind of like wings that she had, but it looked really cool. And yeah, I mean, she was over like the most over woman the whole night. I mean, obviously the hometown hero, but this feud was kind of thrown together because Zelina hasn't really done a whole lot since she won Queen of the Ring, but you would not be able to tell it if you just watch this show.
Yeah. Did she kind of like Sasha Banks to you?
You said, does she kind of look like her?
Yeah, during this match. Did she kind of like from different angles? Did she look like Sasha Banks to you?
Maybe a little bit. I think it's the colored hair that goes into it, and their
Yeah.
attire is kind of the same.
Or my dad asked me this because we watched this match. He was like, "Dang, Sasha Banks came back." I'm like, no, it's Selena Vega, but
No, not quite.
yeah,
She's out on her excursion.
her hiatus as we call
Or yeah, hiatus, as I would put it. The only scoop I had for this one was just, Rhea is great and overall a really solid match. Another great match to start Rhea's reign. And I don't know. I'll see where she goes from here. I don't really know who they're going to put her with next, but I mean, shoot, I'm intrigued regardless.
it. I got a feeling I know where they're gonna go.
Where you think?
Natalia.
Oh, well, yeah, I forgot we had to see that.
Yeah.
I tried to
Get
block
back.
that from my mind because I didn't like it.
No, son, it happened.
And just because it happened don't mean I have to accept it. But for the match of the night, which was next up, at least in my opinion, my humble opinion, Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny. And we have a list for this one in terms of scoops and not a single slam.
No.
If you did not see this before we do the review, pause the podcast right now and go watch this match. It was insane. The crowd was, I don't know I'll just say what I put in my scoops. This is one of my scoops. Move over, Road Warriors. The Road Warrior pop is done. It's the Bad Bunny and Puerto Rico pop because, oh my God,
Yeah.
they went ballistic. You would have thought it was the president in that place.
Oh, he could walk on water in Puerto Rico.
It was crazy. They sung every word to his song. And I mean, I get it. He's the most popular recording artist in the world, but that's always surreal to me. But especially a guy who, I don't know. They were in Puerto Rico, so it makes sense. And I guess his music's probably huge there. He's probably the equivalent to, like, I don't know, Taylor Swift here or like Drake maybe. But it was like a concert almost. I don't know. It was just crazy.
Yeah.
I seen so many clips about the entrance. It was so great.
Yeah. I don't know that song he was using, man. I'm glad he didn't use Booker T. You know, the other song he always used. And he had the right song choice for this
Yeah.
match.
I'll say this. I don't know a word of what he's saying, but I played it on the way home Monday because it was stuck in my head.
It was catchy.
And it's got a good lead up to it too, like every entrance song needs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. But obviously it was the San Juan street fight. Bad Bunny and Damien went at it. Damien was probably I won't say in the lead, but he was dominating most of the match.
Mm-hmm.
And about half. Oh, go ahead.
He could have won a couple minutes in, but he pulled his shoulder up.
Yeah. Oh, and I completely forgot to mention this before we get started. The minute that the bell rung, Damien ran at Bad Bunny, and Bad Bunny hit a Michinoku driver, and I was like, "Holy crap!" It looked seamless.
Yeah, and he didn't just pick him up and drop him. He held him there. That takes a lot of strength.
Yeah, he
worked hard.
I'll ask you at the end of the match whether you think so, or at the end of the match, at the end of our review, about a question I want to hit you with about celebrity wrestlers. But overall, so yeah, they started hot. They, had some kendo sticks, chairs, and everything. Damien took them to the outside. They went through a table or a crash pad out there, whatever you want to call it. And then they come back in the ring, and I'll let you take the lead because you typically have a better memory about how things unfolded.
Well, I believe halfway through the match, Priest went for like what was it? A kind of a, like, I don't know how to explain that type of kick, but kind of like the Trouble in Paradise he went for, and Priest hit his ankle on the outside ring post, and he started selling it, and so Bad Bunny started working over the ankle. He would take him to the ring post and slam his leg into the ring post multiple times, use chairs and chains and whatnot, and he was getting upper hand on old Damian Priest. Well, right after he did that, that's when the Judgment Day did a run in, and the crowd's going crazy, booing and stuff, and then you just hear that opening riff of "I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool," and then the crowd goes ballistic, like Austin 2000 when he came back at Backlash, that kind of pop. It was goosebumps I had, man. I was a big Carlito guy growing up, man. I enjoyed me some Carlito Caribbean Cool. I never thought he got a fair shake on the main roster. I thought he could have done a little more, but seeing him back here in 2023, it was a great moment. Great moment.
Yeah, he cleaned house, and it just, I don't know. Like you said, I got goosebumps when he came out. Like, I was just blown away by the reaction, and everybody liked Carlito. Don't get me wrong, and I know they were in his hometown, but Holy crap. He was just as over as Bad Bunny. And I didn't hear a word about it beforehand, which was great.
Yeah, you could tell he was surprised too, because as soon as he did the run out, he just kind of like did like a little spin right before he started running, and then he just, I guess, got level headed and charged to the ring. But yeah, man, he probably enjoyed it just as much as we did.
Yeah. And then he cleaned house and chewed the apple, and everybody went crazy. And the heels started to duck out, and Finn and Dom were like, screw this, whatever. And then Savio Vega's music hits, and boy, if they didn't pop for Bad Bunny and they didn't pop for Carlito, they popped for Savio Vega. There was 3 of the biggest pops of the year in one match.
Yeah,
And
he was over too, man.
yeah, I mean, and Savio Vega was always good. In '96, which I've said I've been watching, he's good in the ring, and he was Austin's first feud when he came in.
Yeah.
But yeah, another guy, I think the language barrier might have held him back a little bit, and he didn't really get, what'd you say earlier about Carlito, a fair shake of things. But yeah, I mean, this was his moment.
He was huge in Puerto Rico though back in the day before he joined WWE.
Oh, see, yeah, I didn't know anything about him there.
Yeah, he used to wrestle for Carlito's dad's promotion back in the day. He was a big name.
Is it Carlos Colon?
Yeah, that's Carlos Colon.
Yeah.
I think it was World Wrestling Council.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that from the Dark Side of the Ring with Brody? Bruiser Brody?
Yeah, that's a sad story, yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. And I thought similar incidents might have happened if Bad Bunny didn't pick up the win here.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Too soon, Micah.
They might have right. Too soon. It was 50 years ago.
Well, he was only 30. I don't know, man.
2016 was 7 years ago, Ryan.
Okay. What? No, come on.
Stop. That'll make you feel old.
Come on now. Man, it was. Okay. All right. So Finn won the Universal title 7 years ago,
huh? What's he done? Who he ever beat?
He beat Seth that night, I guess.
Yeah, well, Seth got his get back on Raw, but anyways, but yeah, Bad Bunny ended up picking up the win after they, did all the returns and stuff, and a really, really good match. We'll do our official scoops and slams real quick if you just want to run through that, and then I got a question I want to hit you with. But overall thoughts, what'd you think about this match?
Great match, man. Bad Bunny worked hard. Priest had his selling shoes on. He was gonna make Bad Bunny like $1 million, and he did. And I heard from, I think it was PWI, I read this, but WWE brass see Damian Priest as a top guy, main event guy, as of now. So it probably was a star-making performance for Damian Priest too, man. They did well. They delivered. Match of the night, like you said, and yeah, man, it's gonna be hard to top those pops for the calendar year. AEW probably has a chance in that Wembley show, but I don't know, man. This was nuclear reaction that I can't remember ever being replicated.
If we do a pop of the year at the end of the year, I don't know. I think the race is just going to be between Bunny's entrance, Carlito's return, or Savio's return.
Jeez.
That's a crazy statement to say in 2023.
Can I hit you? Can I hit you with a slam?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I got one slam, and that's Michael Cole cannot call a wrestling move by his right name. Did you hear when he called the Falcon Arrow a Michinoku driver?
No, I did not.
Yes, Corey had to correct him. Like, bro, you just called it you called a different move a Michinoku driver like 2 minutes ago. How do you confuse those? But yeah, man, Michael Cole still can't call wrestling.
For some ungodly reason, he's like the longest tenured announcer they've ever had, and he's not bad. He's just not like he's not JR or he's not Jerry Lawler or anything like that. He's just Michael. He's just Michael, as JBL would put it.
He sounds like he's reading lines a lot of times. I mean, it's not bad. It's just it doesn't feel like he has emotion.
Yeah.
When he's with Pat, he does sometimes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's so weird because it's like he brings something out of him. I was thinking about it as I was driving today. I don't know what made me think about this, but announcers don't have like their own personalities anymore. Like JR was JR. Jerry Lawler was Jerry Lawler.
Yeah.
And same with, I mean, Taz has a little bit of that. Like Taz has his own personality. But other than that, they're just sports announcers. I just don't like that. I don't know. I like them to bring something different to the table. Even Heyman, when they had him on the table, he was Paul Heyman. There was nobody like him.
Yeah, you're right about that.
And I don't know if it has something to do with them being in the business, but JR wasn't. So what did he... Maybe it was just him as a person was different.
Maybe,
I don't know.
Maybe they stayed out of JR's ear more back in the 90s.
Oh, I'm sure.
And, nowadays, it's always somebody on headset. And you got to feed lines to the commentators most times. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just a different practice nowadays. You can't really be yourself if you're getting fed lines to say,
They need to feed Kevin Patrick to some lines.
Get him out of here. Get Morrow back.
Yeah, that's right. Bring back Pat, actually. He's got personality. That's what made him good. But
I don't think he's going to be back.
Nah, I think he's making too much money doing everything else. And if I could watch football over this most nights, I'd probably pick football.
Definitely so.
Not this pay-per-view, though. This pay-per-view was great. Just,
yeah.
Sometimes those Friday night SmackDowns when you see the Usos versus KO and Sammy for the 8th time, I don't know. But for the official scoops for this match, I'll just run down mine real quick, which obviously we've already mentioned, but, just to keep us on format, the crazy pop for Bad Bunny, the Michinoku driver to open it up, Priest being on top most of the match. I didn't talk about that. I like that because... You had to stop me. I was on a roll. But him... Now, dadgummit, how do I phrase that?
He was in the driver's seat most of the match.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. He's on top, huh? Bad Bunny's top.
I don't know that Bad Bunny rolls like that. But yeah, Priest being in the driver's seat for most of the match was good because it kind of keeps that sense of realism that, like, yeah, he is a celebrity and Priest does this professionally. Plus, Priest is like, a foot taller than him. So it just adds some realism. I liked that fact about it. And then my last two, obviously Carlito Mania and Match of the Night for obvious reasons. The pops were crazy. All the in-ring stuff was good too. And yeah. Did you have any scoops you just wanted to formally throw out there?
Nah, man, just much respect to both guys. They worked hard and yeah, man, I really enjoyed this match.
So, great one. Let me ask you this.
All right.
Logan Paul or Bad Bunny? Who's the better celebrity wrestler?
The celebrity wrestler is hands down Logan Paul. But as far as popularity goes, I mean, we got to put Bad Bunny as number one.
You think it's night and day, Logan Paul?
As the wrestler? Yeah. I think... Yeah, because Logan Paul just looks more like an athlete in there because he's like 6'2", and he's bigger than most guys on the roster. Bad Bunny ain't no slouch, but he ain't 6'5", but he's like what, 5'10", 5'9", Micah?
Something like that. Probably about as tall as me and you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, and Logan Paul has, athletic background, so I mean, you can put him in more competitive matches. If Bad Bunny's going 30 minutes with Damian Priest without weapons, then okay, something's not right. But at least, I mean, most of his matches have to be tag matches or a street fight because he can't. I mean, how can you justify him beating up a 6'4", 260-pound Damian Priest? You can theoretically do that with Logan Paul because he is a professional boxer.
I guess that's true. I think you did sum it up well. I think Logan Paul is the better in-ring worker, but popularity-wise, Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was never impressed with any of Logan's promos. Bad Bunny obviously did most of them in Spanish, but I felt like he was more real when he did them in Spanish than Logan was, so might give him the promo notch too.
It's I like Logan Paul on the mic when he's a heel, but I know you're not a big fan of him.
The person or the wrestler. But speaking of things that I was not a big fan of, the next match, which was obviously a cool down match.
Yeah.
Usos versus Usos with Solo versus KO, Sammy, and Riddle.
Mm.
Uh
Hurts. It hurts, man.
how far the mighty have fallen.
I remember being so excited for Bloodline stuff, but now it's the cool down match on the pay-per-view.
It's just lost so much steam. I've seen it so many times now, and tell me honestly, what has changed from WrestleMania to now?
Well, Matt Riddle is involved now.
Okay.
Sammy has been sowing more seeds of doubt in Jay's head, which I guess that wouldn't be different. He did that a little bit lead up to WrestleMania. I guess now with Solo, they got some kind of turmoil in the bloodline now.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can name, bro.
Nothing ain't been really here. Keep me interested for a month.
Roman ain't been here, man.
Yeah. Brock has wrestled more than he has in the past month. Is
that true? That's legit.
That's true.
Oh, God. Okay.
That's a shoot, brother.
Oh, man. All right, then.
Matter of fact, I think Brock has wrestled more this year.
No, come on now.
No, really? Okay. He wrestled at, obviously, this pay-per-view, so he's one up on Roman. They both wrestled at WrestleMania, so 2-1. What was the pay-per-view before that? Elimination Chamber?
Yeah, he wrestled there. Yeah, I think you might be right, man.
Did Brock have a match?
Yeah, he did. He faced Bobby.
Yep. And Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Brock was in the Rumble and Roman fought KO. So, yeah, Brock has had more matches in 2023 than Roman Reigns.
Wow.
It sucks. For TV, at least. But he'll be back this Friday, so I'm sure that'll be great. You want to take the one scoop here?
Yeah, I guess. I like the issues that Solo and Jay had throughout the match, but to be honest, Micah, I really didn't pay that. I didn't put that keen of an eye on this match because I'm kind of burned out of the matchups of KO, Sammy versus Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah, and you hinted to it last week, and I really didn't realize it, but oh my God, the Usos, they really just don't have any.
Dang.
No, it's just super kicks. Like, I could not tell you anything they did in this match other than super kicks. Well, I know they did other stuff. I'm just saying it wasn't memorable.
Probably be with no one drop in here.
Well, okay. You got anything else?
Slams.
Yeah.
Man, I'll kick us off with the slam because it looks like you got a lot for slams. So I'll just hit you with one and then I'll let you loose. I feel like this could have just been a TV main event, and we would have been fine. Like if this was the main event of Raw of Draft Night, I would have been content with that. This really didn't need to be.
Oh, well, they just kind of had this as the main event on SmackDown, just with no Solo and no Riddle.
They should just had it on Raw, man. Said, all right, this is it. We're not doing this anymore, you guys, and let it be that. Because if any match could have got cut from this pay per view, I think it should have been this.
Yeah. And I'm so glad. I was like, on Monday, I bet you they're going to continue it. Like, Sammy's going to be talking to Jay about something, or Friday even. I'm like, oh, they're going to continue it. Please don't. Please, God, don't. I know this is going to come out the night before SmackDown. Change the format.
Well, the Usos are on SmackDown, and KO and Sami is on Raw, so I think we're good for that.
Well, they said during this match that KO and Sammy could be on both brands because they're the champion of both brands.
Oh God. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, we'll see Friday, I guess.
So yeah, for the slams, I'm just gonna run these through real quick, and we can talk about them if you want to. It's so sad that I wanted to skip this match. I had no desire to watch it, and I knew I would have felt bad if I did skip it, so I didn't, but I wanted to. The KO stair spot, you know what I'm talking about, where they throw him backwards.
He likes that spot.
I think they do it too much. Like, I just saw it this time, and Michael Cole was like, "Oh, Kevin Owens is done for now," and I was like, "He does this every match."
Yeah, yeah.
He did it. I know he did it at Mania. I know he did it at Royal Rumble. He did it one night with Solo on Raw. So, yeah, I don't know. It just loses its effect when you do it all the time. How can I miss you if you won't go away?
Yeah.
The start was extremely slow to the point that I just got on my phone. I could not make myself sit and watch this match because I'm just so done with it. And it's so sad to say because they just main evented WrestleMania a month ago.
It's time, man.
Yeah. It's been time. It was time a week after Mania because it was already getting a little stale leading up to. But you're like, well, we're getting the Mania match. It's the main event. It's going to be good. Sammy and KO are going to win. And he stuck around for the moment. But the moment came and Roman won.
Yeah.
So Jay didn't turn on him. And here we are a month later still doing the same thing that they've been doing since Elimination Chamber.
Oof. Yeah.
It ain't, in the famous words of the Hulkster, that don't work for me, brother. Sammy jumped off the top rope into a double super kick for no reason. I know you weren't paying a ton of attention to this, but he jumped he was on the top and Jay was close to the left corner and Jimmy was close to the right corner. And Sammy just jumped in the middle of the ring. No arms out, no sideways trying to hit somebody.
Yeah. The flying nothing. Yeah, they do that sometimes.
Yeah, this one was really evident. And I try not to call out little stuff like that sometimes just because I feel like I'm nitpicking, but...
That's modern wrestling, though, man. Like, you go to an indie show, you'll see that all the time.
I guess you got me there, but I don't know. It just irks me. Like, he could have... If they were in the middle and he went for a lariat... Well, not a lariat. It was a axe handle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know.
Okay.
Yeah. When you cup your hands and come down on somebody, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. See, that I could live with that. But no, he just jumped. And the last thing... The Usos winning... I don't understand the thought process.
Well, I'm trying to justify it.
Can you?
Didn't Riddle take the pin? I
Yes.
think he did. Okay, so is it gonna hurt Riddle? Really?
Oh no, because they can only pin him infinite
I,
times.
and I think so. Okay, just got to take a shot at Riddle, huh? I think Solo got the pin, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I mean, help Solo get a little steam on him.
But like, I don't know. I guess it wasn't KO and Sammy's fault because they didn't take the pin and they were out of the ring. But like, they just won the tag. This is their first loss since Mania, and for what? Because this feud isn't going to continue. The Usos should have just lost due to Solo should have just walked out on them, and then Jay should have got like caught with a haluva kick. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that could have worked too, man. But I don't think it was that big of a deal to get Solo a win here.
But it's not just Solo. You got the tag champs losing.
But they didn't get pinned.
Yeah, but it's for a feud that's ending tomorrow. Well, technically, or at least it should. Hopefully, the feud is ending. So, why have the heels go out with a win for the last match?
Uh, I don't know, man. You got a good point. I can see it from both sides, though.
I mean, yeah, I see your point. Yeah, I mean, it was only Riddle taking the pin,
Yeah, it's
but
not like Rock was out there and he took the pin. I mean, come on, it's Riddle.
I don't mean I like it. But anyways, those are
I
all
thought
of
you
the.
I thought you'd be over the moon for beating Riddle like a drum.
Well, yeah, if it was just him, but it was it wasn't just him. Any other night, okay, let Riddle take the pin. Good, in my book. But overall, those were all the listed things that I had issues with this match about. I did not care and was ready to get it over with.
Yeah, like I said, man, could have just been main event of Raw at the draft.
Well, speaking of the main event, we have made it finally
Yeah.
to Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar
Yeah.
in what I think should not have been the main event. I think it should have been Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest, but to each their own.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, I mean, it could have been either or. Maybe they saved. Well, you got to think though, Micah. Brock was mad that he was the opening match of WrestleMania, so he couldn't do that anymore.
Well, he didn't have to open.
Well, he didn't want a mid card match. He said he wanted to be main event.
I don't know. I think that this match suffered a little bit from going after the Bad Bunny match, just because all the pops and everything. But regardless, I thought it was a really good match. The right result, obviously, is Cody walked out. The way they got there, not the biggest fan of. For your scoops,
Yeah.
what you got?
Okay. The hard way blood that Brock did, bro. Brock is a tough sob. There ain't no way I'm taking a turnbuckle shot like that and purposely cutting myself. And he did it on point too. Like it was so fluid. Like and
It,
the added blood to the match, it added a element to the match that needed to be there, in my opinion.
I agree. I love. I easy for me to say. Holy crap! I like the blood. It adds to a main event match. I do think it's funny that like of all the people, Brock can just kind of get away with it because they're not going to tell Brock no. Um, that bump made me cringe so bad because you could see all of it. Like it wasn't like, oh, I hit my head on the turnbuckle, turn, blade. Like, not that I'm trying to take away from that, but no, he legit rammed his head into the little metal clip thing. It's like a parachute clip, kind of. And it immediately started pouring. It just, you could see it running down his face the second after he hit.
And
there ain't no way.
To their credit too, they didn't shoot away from it, which is what they did at WrestleMania. If you remember.
Yeah. Well, that's what I didn't understand. I saw a couple pictures because I wasn't watching Backlash Live. I was like, so Brock got color and they just let it happen? I'm shocked. But then some reports came out that Brock wanted it, and they were like, okay.
They're in
I
Puerto
guess he can
Rico,
do whatever
man.
he wants.
They're in Puerto Rico, man. They're bloodthirsty fans too.
That's true. I don't know. I liked it. It adds something, especially in WWE when it rarely happens. It don't need to be every night. It don't need to be every pay-per-view like AEW. But, which AEW, if it was every pay-per-view, okay, they have 5 a year. WWE, they got 12. It don't need to be every pay-per-view. It don't need to be every TV show. But if you got a hot angle, like that night when MJF beat the piss out of CM Punk right before Revolution, and he left him in a bloody mess, makes sense. But, John Moxley versus... I don't know. Give me a random AEW job guy.
Takashi.
Yeah, John Moxley versus Takeshita, and John Moxley goes out there and bleeds buckets like he's Eddie Guerrero versus JBL. Like, come on, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. Not on every show, man. Not on every weekly show. Sporadically, like you said.
You have anything else for this one, or?
Yeah, No, I got one more. I thought it was a unique finish how they did it. The Kimura, and then he cradles Brock onto his shoulders and gets the pinfall. But I'll let you get your swoop in before I talk about the slam.
Oh, well, I like that it started hot.
Okay. Yeah, I thought
I don't
it
want
was
to mess up your train of thought.
Okay, yeah, appreciate that. I thought it was a unique finish, but I don't know if it was the right finish because the whole lead up, Cody was calling Brock a coward, but then Cody gets a surprise pin and he runs up the ramp. Like, doesn't that make him seem like a coward?
He got out of there like Jerry Springer.
Oh man, rest in peace. Yeah,
rest
man, it just didn't. I don't know. It didn't really fit what Cody's been saying on the weekly TV show.
No, I 100% agree because I when I saw that you wrote unique finish, I was like, but I completely agree with you now because I know what you mean. The getting there was good. Just the fact that it happened was like, because again, I mean, he won and then he bolted. Like, did he even look? Did he turn around to look at the camera?
Next thing I saw after the pinfall, he was up at the entranceway. So I don't know.
But he was turning around, walking home. He was running home like he lost the fight.
It's fine, bro. I mean, I can understand Brock's a tough guy, very intimidating, but it just doesn't fit what he's been saying on the weekly product. It wasn't true to his gimmick.
And I don't know, man. They're fumbling Cody's booking, I think.
I'm not writing it off yet because he did win the match. So I can't take that away from him. If he beats Brock again, that would be something. Because I can't recall Brock ever losing 2 matches in a row to somebody. Can you?
Roman, I think.
He lost 2 to him in a row?
Yeah, because he lost at WrestleMania and then he lost at SummerSlam 2022.
Yeah, I guess you're right. But pinfall losses. Pinfall.
Still, elite class to be
Yeah.
in with, though. Pinfalls? Cena, maybe?
Cena? No. No, ain't no way. Because Cena only beat him once when he came back. And he never beat him in his first run.
Hmm.
Yeah, remember
Shoot.
he had that match with Cena at Extreme Rules in his comeback, and Cena beat him. And then they had another match at SummerSlam 2014, and he squashed Cena. And like
Oh, man. I don't think squash does it justice.
he just not verbally, but he physically assaulted Cena for 15 minutes. And it was very uncomfortable to watch. But it was a very great spectacle to see as a Cena hater as a kid. So, but yeah, they had that match, and then they had a rematch at Night of Champions, which got Seth Rollins did a run in, so there was a DQ finish, and then they had another triple threat match at Royal Rumble in 2015, but Seth Rollins was in that match, and Brock went over and beat Cena and Seth. So yeah, that's the only time they had a match together since Brock's comeback.
Okay, if it's not Cena, then who would it be?
I guess Seth,
Nope.
maybe.
Yep, you're right. I'm looking at it now. I was about to say that, but I wanted you. Well, no, not back to
Oh,
back though, because
huh?
Seth beat Brock at 35.
Yeah.
Brock then beat Seth at Extreme Rules in 16 seconds.
Oh my God, I don't remember that.
Yeah. And then Seth beat Brock at SummerSlam.
Hmm.
So not back to back, no, but that's the last person to beat Brock twice. Pinfall.
Yeah, so Cody would be joining Elite Company if he can do it.
We shall see. I don't see them making him lose to Brock though, because then, my God, pissing his mouth while he's down there. What else are you gonna do with the guy? He would have lost
Yeah.
to Roman and Brock in his first real year back.
Yeah, unless they do a rubber match at SummerSlam, which they could do, but I don't think this feud has enough legs to last till August.
No, heck no.
No.
But I liked the match. I can't obviously, since we watched Raw and we're about to get to that, they're gonna have another one. I just don't know what they're gonna do to make this one different. Does that
Well,
make sense?
yeah, yeah, but I like what they did on Raw, so I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, I honestly think that was the best segment they've had since, or probably the beginning of this whole thing.
Yeah.
I just want to let you know that right now I'm still trying to find the last person to beat Brock Lesnar by
Come on, man.
pinfall back to back, and I'm in 2003.
Jesus Christ. Bro, Brock is one of the most protective guys in the history of the company.
There's a couple tag matches, but I'm not gonna count that because I'm counting singles.
Yeah. Really, I mean, I can't think of any.
Oh my God, this is an insane run. We did the same, not this exact same thing, but this similar thing about Brock's record on one of our other shows. It's Kurt Angle. Well, was that by submission or
Wait, which time are you talking about?
2003 on a house show?
I know he beat him at SummerSlam 2003. And I think that's the only pay-per-view match he's beat him on.
Let's see. You're right. He beat him SummerSlam 2000. Zach Gowen beat Brock Lesnar? Okay. Oh, it was by DQ. Never mind. Well, I just saw that and it caught my eye. I was like, huh? Yeah, I don't know. If Kurt beat him by pinfall, then it's going to be Kurt. Did Brock ever tap to anyone ever?
Kurt.
Oh, he did end up tapping to Kurt?
Yeah, that's the only guy he's tapped to.
Well,
Which
then
Kurt,
it
which,
might.
which Kurt Angle is the only guy ever to make Hulk Hogan tap out as well, which is kind of a cool stat. And he made John Cena tap too. Like the two
I was
guys
about
are
to
known
say, and he's
yeah, the two guys are known for not tapping out. He's made both of them tap
interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if it's not Kurt,
out.
hypothetically, if Kurt tapped him out, I still don't know. Unless it's broken up, like, over time, like, say, Cena beat him by pinfall in 2003. Well, no,
No,
that wouldn't work.
he never did that.
No. Wow. This is the most protected guy I've ever seen. Okay, so Cody, if he beats him by pinfall, would be the only person in history, potentially, to beat Brock Lesnar twice. Back to back. Pinfall.
Crazy stat, but very believable because Brock is treated like justifiably so. He's treated like an unbeatable beast.
Yeah. I've seen a picture of him today, actually, that he was 16, and he was huge.
Yeah. Bro, he's a once in a lifetime athlete too. Like he moves around especially in his first run, he was so agile.
Rob Van Dam, sorry.
What?
If it's not Kurt, then it's Rob Van Dam.
Was that 02?
No, that one, they're both by DQ. Dadgummit.
Because didn't Rob Van Dam? No, I'm about to say he lost to him in the King of the Ring tournament, but you say he beat him, right?
I'm not sure. This is 2002, but all of these are house shows.
Yeah, I was about to say it's probably a house show. Yeah, he won King of the Ring that year, so I think he did beat Rob Van Dam.
Yeah, Brock beat Rob Van Dam in 5 minutes. Oh my God. There's your history is insane. Secondly, there are so many house shows that they ran. Rob Van Dam beats Brock Lesnar by DQ after this for an ungodly amount of time. Yeah, unless you count tag matches and maybe Kurt beat him by pinfall. Because I'm back at like when Brock was wrestling on Dark. I don't think anybody ever beat Brock.
Oh, Dark? Dang, bro, they put him on the YouTube show.
Oh, man. Oh, Mr. Perfect.
Oh, man. So Dark matches.
Yeah. Dark. Or no, this was a house show, so not completely. But this was around the time that Brock was breaking in, and it was on Dark matches.
Okay.
That is
insane.
Yeah. Potentially the most protected guy in history. I know we've spent way too long talking about that, but wow, that's just crazy to think about.
It was a good match for that.
Yeah.
For Cody versus Brock, I meant. It was a good match. I really enjoyed the pay-per-view, and if I had to rate it, I'd probably give it an 8.2, man. I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. Besides the Uso, Solo, KO, Sammy, Riddle stuff. Other than that, I mean, you can find very little faults in this whole pay-per-view.
I agree. I say 8.5. Really good show. Crowd hot. Different environment. Different stage setup.
Yeah.
All the matches were good. I didn't really care for the Usos match, but overall a good match. Nothing was horribly wrong with it. Sorry, got a little acid reflux. I could not think of the correct term to call that. I almost called it indigestion. Which I guess still wouldn't be wrong. But yeah, I mean, and I could see myself going back and watching some of the matches off this. I watched the whole show and was pretty. I mean, it wasn't like, oh, here we go, I gotta watch Backlash. But no, I like enjoyed my time, and that's pretty much all you can. That's the best compliment a wrestling pay-per-view can get, and it was 3 hours, so that's good.
Yeah, it'll definitely get some love on the yearly award show, the Scoopies.
Yeah, if nothing else, for the pop of the year.
Yeah, old Saudi Vega. Who would have thought?
But then Monday came,
Mm.
and sure enough, I was once again reminded why I love their pay-per-views, but I don't like their weekly shows.
Well, we should preference this by saying we only watched the hour and a half version on Hulu.
Well, that's true. It went by quicker when you watch it like that, but it's still drug a little bit in the middle. Cody opened us up talking about his match from last night, but mainly talking about the World Heavyweight Championship tournament that was later.
You good? Oh, come on, man.
I don't know, man. It wasn't a bad promo at all. But I just have a feeling that, you know, he wasn't going to win the World Championship tournament. And something was going to happen. And sure enough, I was right. I just felt like it telegraphed it a little too much. And I didn't walk away with like any major positives coming out of this. But I did have a negative or a slam coming out of it.
Yeah, I did too. I had a slam. You can go first, man.
I didn't like that they black and whited the match. I know it was national TV and like it's up to the network or whatever. This happened like 2 days ago. I can understand if you're showing like old clips from like 2003 or whatever, because different time, different era. But like this happened 2 nights ago, so you condoned it, but now you're like, oh no, we can't show that on our network. Like, come on. It just bothers me. Little stuff like that.
Yeah, I see your point, man. But you know, the network and the cable television, yeah.
It's not WWE's fault, but it's just stupid.
Yeah, it's just, policy, I guess. I got a slam. Can I hit you?
I'm shocked. Yeah, go ahead. I thought Cody was your boy.
I'm still Cody, Cody Maniac, but I don't know, man. He just didn't mention Roman at all. Like, I feel like Cody should have mentioned Roman in his promo. He said he has to finish the story, but he didn't mention Roman Reigns at all. Isn't finishing the story beating Roman Reigns and winning the WWE title?
It should be, at least.
I thought that's what it was, but apparently you can finish the story by winning the world title. I don't know, man.
I have a feeling that Cody is gonna just go all the way to the Rumble and win it again. And no disrespect, because
I see Money in the Bank.
I could see it, but I think they're gonna go more grandiose than that, because I don't think they're going to have Roman drop it anywhere other than Mania, just because of how long it's gone on. Then again, they had Punk drop the belt at Royal Rumble, so it could happen. But, well, yeah, just a little bit of spite still bothers me to this day.
He deserved that L. That's the most electrifying man of all time. You're gonna
but he could have taken that L at Mania.
I think they should have made a triple threat match, me personally, but I was conflicted, man, because I'm a big Rock fan, and at the time, Phil was a little more tolerable, so I was a big time Mr. Brooks fan. So yeah, I see your point, man.
Obviously, The Rock had to beat him, I think, because at that point he had ran through everyone else.
Oh, the roster was thin, though. He said everybody else, Ryback, Dolph Ziggler.
Exactly. Oh, no, hold on now. I ain't gonna let you catch a straw or just throw that out there.
I'm just saying, man.
You tried to sneak that one in.
Well, come on. When you compare the rosters of 2012 to 2023, it's night and day, man. When you got Alberto Del Rio as top of the card in 2012. Come on.
Dominated that card, too. Anyways, it should have been a triple threat.
Yeah, that was up.
But I think that Cody's going to win the Royal Rumble again, and then they're going to have this match again at Mania, which I think is stupid. But I don't like being able to tell who's going to win the Rumble like a year from the Rumble. It just makes it less exciting, I guess.
Anything can change. Maybe somebody gets super hot and they change course, man. I don't know. Maybe Roman gets hurt and he has to drop the title. I don't know. I'm not wishing that.
Why would he?
Knock on wood, man. But I mean, it's possible, man.
He only works once a month.
Okay, that's a cheap shot, but I don't know, man. I wouldn't rule out Money in the Bank, Cody, and him calling the shot for SummerSlam. I wouldn't rule it out.
Give it to my boy LA Knight.
Hey, I wouldn't hate it. He's on SmackDown, so he's not gonna win it anytime soon.
Well, it could give him a chance to get out of SmackDown and win the World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, you talking about Money in the Bank win? I thought you meant Roman dropping it to LA Knight.
No. I like LA Knight, but he ain't there yet. It needs to be like a major star and somebody a little bit younger. But Money in the Bank, I think they should give it to him. But anyways, the Cody promo, I understand your point. I just think he's kind of stuck on Raw now, and they're going to be treading water until they can get him in a situation to face Roman that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't care for that. Feels like a lot of reach around your elbow to get to your knee.
I like that.
Well, came up with it myself. No, I didn't. I'm lying. Anyways, Shinsuke Nakamura versus Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins. And, it wasn't a bad match. I honestly, it was my match of the night.
Yeah.
I wish that Priest and Finn were swapped in these matches.
Yeah.
Because I would have rather had Seth versus Priest. And even though Priest would have lost, because I don't like Seth, but I understand why he's in the position that he's in now. Priest, I think, could have used the rub better, and it would have looked better on a main event level to get him in there with Seth. And I'm going to segue that with my first scoop. Move over Bray Wyatt, because to me, if you're looking at like this generation's stars, Damian Priest is the new Undertaker.
He's always impressive in there, man. His promos sound pretty good. He sounds like a threat on the microphone. He got that deep voice, and yeah, man, he has it all. He has the entrance too. I can understand why they used Priest like they did on Monday, just because Seth, he could probably work with Priest. And now that they got the Finn versus Seth matchup out the way, I mean, nothing's stopping them from running Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins at like Money in the Bank or something after he wins the world title. They could do something like that. If they would have had Priest versus Seth on Monday, I mean, would it have as much meaning when you see it on pay-per-view? If you see it on pay-per-view again?
I guess you got a point there. I could,
if
it'll lead to something down the road, then I'll follow you down that road. But if not, then I think it could have helped Priest. Not that it damaged him per se, but it just would have, like a small little iota in the mind of the fans that like, wow, this guy can go toe-to-toe with Seth, and he is a main eventer. Because he gives me the feeling of that, like, cult leader, which I know the Judgment Day kind of is supposed to be dark or whatever. Like you said, he's got the deep voice, he's a bigger guy, but he moves really well in there. I don't know. I really like Damian Priest over this past couple months. And the match with Bad Bunny sealed it.
He was the only one that got a backstage interview before the match, though. That was something to keep your eye on.
That's true.
Yeah. Usually they don't do stuff like that if it doesn't have a reason. Like they try to give him an out for losing the Bad Bunny.
Yeah. And like you said earlier, or I think you said it, that they see him highly, and I think the Bad Bunny match was a start making performance. So maybe you're right with the little interview before. They are trying, so I'll give them benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
You got anything for this one?
Scoops. I thought it was an okay way to start the tournament. It wasn't nothing great. It was a solid triple threat match. You know, you if you've seen one triple threat match, they pretty much followed the same formula. Two guys fight, one guy sells for more time than he probably should, and then they alternate back and forth like that. It was fine, man. It wasn't nothing crazy, but I thought it was a pretty good match on Raw.
I agree. I mean, like you said, good way to start off the tournament.
Yeah.
No qualms here. I did have 2 slams though. Shinsuke sucks. He's cooked. Get him out of here. All those kicks missed. He looks old in there.
Yeah. He is.
And I'm sorry. Like, I know he's got his devoted fan base. He's cooked this time. Overcooked even.
But Micah, he had those great matches with Okada in New Japan. You didn't see.
Guess what? Send him back.
I agree. He sucks, man. He's been an entrance his whole career. He's been living off New Japan fame for way longer than he should have, if you ask me. I still can't get into his matches. He's only had a few that I've actually gone back and rewatched, and one of those matches is his debut match. So that should tell you what he's done in the past 7 years he's been with the company. Yeah, man, it's time. It's time.
He's just not ever gonna get anywhere else. You know what I mean?
He's collecting a check at this point because he's definitely not doing his same style from New Japan.
Absolutely. He just going through the motions. I don't get him out of here.
Yeah.
I was out of wrestling, so I never saw any of Shinsuke before. Like, honestly, this is the first that I've ever truly paid attention to him, and like, I just don't see what everybody else sees. Same thing with Finn. I don't understand it.
Yeah, both guys just living off New Japan. At least AJ's had great matches in WWE.
Yeah, and I knew AJ from TNA too.
But you know, they were that. It was AJ, Shinsuke, and the Good Brothers. They all signed at the same time, and the only one that has lived up to the hype, in my opinion, is AJ Styles. And that's probably because he was on U.S. television for 15 years before that, you know, in TNA consistently. But
and AJ is one of the greatest of all time to me, anyways. He might not be on a Rushmore, he might not be in top 10, but he definitely is cracking some lists. I mean, he's been relevant for almost 20 years now, and he didn't even get to WWE until 2016. So
it's definitely worth mentioning his name in the best wrestlers of the 21st century. I say he's top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially those TNA matches.
Oh yeah, most definitely. He could be top 3, man. I don't know.
I'd have to sit down and think about it, but he's in the discussion, absolutely.
Yeah.
The only other thing, which really wasn't a slam, I just kind of got a kick out of it. Kevin Patrick was, oh, look at this electric crowd. And it pans to everybody sitting down. Like, not even a little, it was just solely.
He got the old Bobby Fish reaction, huh?
Yeah. I only got the where's the lie. I don't have the after where it goes quiet and then that guy goes, CM Punk. Moving on.
They were in Jacksonville. Ahead. They were in Jacksonville, right?
Yeah.
AEW country.
Yeah, that's what it was. They got burned out for all that wrestling for years.
Well, what else we had?
Imperium was backstage and they ran into the Usos and said they wanted a challenge. Not really much came of this. The only thing we talked about it on the Dynamite and SmackDown review. Imperium are heels and they went to Raw, so they're viable challengers, and they got squashed in 3 minutes on SmackDown by the Street Profits. So why even have them do the job on Friday if you're gonna have them do this on Monday or vice versa?
Oh, you leave the territory, Michael. You got to put somebody over. They left SmackDown. You got to put them over on the way out.
The Profits were leaving Raw.
Well, there's the first match on SmackDown, though.
I don't know. It ain't doing it for me, brother.
No.
Moving to the other opening match of the tournament, it was Cody Rhodes versus Finn versus Miz, and we already kind of alluded to who won this one. Brock ran in as Cody was about to win the match, interrupted, beat the piss out of Cody. Finn wins, and Brock beat up Cody after the match, put him through the table, and kind of challenged him to a fight, not a match or anything. He said a fight. Again, it's the same thing as the other tournament match. Like you said about the triple threats, it's the same thing. Wasn't bad. It was here. Lots of the same stuff. I don't like Finn. Miz is okay. Cody's good in the ring.
Yeah, pretty much.
I will say this, the Brock stuff was good. That was my only scoop from this that I wrote down. His promo was good. I mean, it was believable. I don't know. Brock sometimes can be a little hokey or just his voice isn't fitting for his body, I guess. But here he seemed pissed and it came off well.
Yeah. I thought him rocking the stitches and the black eye, it added a little touch to the battle that they had the previous night. Because he had a shiner under his eye, man. It looked like Cody just, domestically abused him, man. I hate to use that term, oh man. But yeah. And Brock sounded like legitimately pissed on the microphone. He sounded like actually angry, which is a lost form and a lost art that pro wrestling doesn't utilize as much as it should now. Especially in WWE, man. I'm team WWE first, but nobody's ever really mad at each other on the show. Like you'll get the Bloodline and the Sammy and KO, they're having this big feud, and then Jimmy and Sammy are backstage chit chatting. Like,
Yep.
Are you really that mad at them? So
I don't know. You're right though, and something about Brock here was different. And
yeah,
if he could channel that all the time, he wouldn't be so bad on mic. Now he's not always bad, and with the Cowboy Brock thing, he was getting over. But I definitely see what you mean, especially when a guy that size like Brock Lesnar is talking to you like that. That grabs your attention.
Terrifying, especially when he looks directly into the camera. I like when they do that too, which they don't do that enough either.
The only slams I had, I'll just run through them real quick. Cody hitting his finisher 8 million times in every match. I think it diminishes the crossroads. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why he chooses to hit it back to back like that.
Because if it's a dominant finish, couldn't you hit it one time and it'd be done?
I can understand if it's in like a main event match, hit it 2 or 3 times, like to a super finisher. But if it's just a regular old, I guess this wasn't a regular match, but still, I don't think you need to hit Miz with it 3 times.
Exactly. I can get Roman, I can get Brock. But other than that, or even Omos, if that ever happens, okay, but it just diminishes it. I don't really care for the Brock Cody continuation. I think they did it well. I'm just saying it in and of itself, I don't really care for. I wanted Cody to move on to something else, preferably something to do with Roman.
I disagree because they did have a kind of a weird roll up type finish that they utilized. So you kind of had to go back to this match. You need Cody to beat Brock fair and square in the middle.
Well, yeah, but I didn't really care for that finish either. I
Well,
think
they
he
did.
should have beat him fair and square in the middle.
Well, you can't rebook it, Micah. It happened. So I mean, we're looking for the future now.
Sounds like a scapegoat if I've ever heard one.
Oh, come on. What else you got?
Lastly, just Finn winning. I didn't really.
He gets his own slam. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
it just be like that sometimes.
I'm not gonna argue with you.
Rhea Ripley and Dana Brooke followed this, and Rhea Ripley basically just beat the piss out of her in 2 seconds. And after the fact, she was she going to cut a promo, or was she just posing? Or what? No, she was about to beat her up again. And lo and behold, Natalya runs out.
She had them things thinging tonight, man.
I wasn't even what I was talking about. I just forgot she was still here.
Oh, well, I forgot she was here, but then I quickly remembered why they keep her around.
You got anything for this one? I don't really.
Yeah, I just got it was a quick dominant win from Rhea. I mean, nothing it was there.
Yep.
It was a scoop, in my opinion.
I agree. Good. I mean, it's always good to get a squash match in. It just keeps people refreshed in their mind, so I liked it. The slams, Dana Brooke went for a high five to a fan, and he legit just straight up ignored her, and she kept on walking. So I don't know, that kind of cracked me up too, because it was like a little kid. It wasn't like some grown man.
You put that slam, man. Come on.
Just I felt like it needed acknowledging.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know how I feel about Natalya being her first real feud. I mean, yeah, yep, what's her name? It completely blanked on me.
Zelina Vega?
Yeah, that one. We just talked about a whole match, and I
Hey, I didn't notice, but her last name's Vega. You think she's related to Savio?
Wait, now, hold on now.
I don't know, man.
Should have came out and helped her during the match.
Well, he was wearing an LWO shirt.
Well, hold on, it might be her dad.
Well,
No.
Oh, man. Come on.
I didn't mean that. No, I forgot. Maybe her stepdad. Sorry.
Okay.
That was.
All right.
I didn't mean that. Hey, speaking from one, person with a dead parent to another, I didn't mean that.
Well, I accept your apology.
Matter of fact, I got the jump on her. I got 2 of them.
Yeah. Outdid her, man.
It's like seniority. Nah.
You doubled it and passed it on,
huh? Oh, shoot. Pass it on to the next person. Okay. Well, speaking of passing it on, Imperium versus Sammy and KO. Something I wrote down, not a scoop or a slam. I think it's funny because if you looked at Imperium and you looked at Sammy and KO, you would think that Imperium would be the champs just because, they're actually toned and stuff, but just the visual, I started thinking about it.
Just call him out of shape, Micah.
Well, I'm more of a Kevin Owens shape myself, so who am I to be talking? But obviously, KO and Sammy pick up the win, as they should have. Again, I think that this could be a long-running feud, and I would have liked for it to have been, but, that bridge is crossed now, so we'll see where they go. For the scoops, I like Imperium. I think they need a good push, not as flunkies. And Kevin Owens hit a really nasty comeback lariat that turned one of the Vinci or Leonardo.
Come on, man.
DiCaprio.
Oh.
I'm really blanking on Marcel Bartholomew. Yeah. He had a good comeback lariat. KO did. Turn one of them inside out.
That's his name?
It's Marcel Bar something. One of them's Giovanni Vinci, and the other one is like Marcel Bar.
I thought it was. I don't think that's his name.
It's not Marcel.
I think that was his name in NXT, wasn't it?
I don't know.
I thought it was Ludwig.
I didn't watch him in.
Ludwig.
Is
Ludwig
it?
Kaiser.
It is Ludwig Kaiser. Why do I know that? I don't even watch NXT.
I was thinking, that's his name. Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you were God. Man, I was so confused for a second.
Well,
I thought I was getting the name wrong.
well, I was like, I don't know. That's the name that came to me for whatever reason. I have no idea because again, I didn't even watch NXT. But
Been watching.
hey.
You've been listening too much Cornette, huh?
Oh well, happens to the best of us, I guess.
Oh man, yeah, I thought this was an okay tag match for Raw. It was fine. Wasn't nothing great about it, nothing good. I would never go back and watch it, but it was fine for what it was.
No. The only slam I had was I just hate how bad the disappearing act is in tag team matches, but that's not just a them thing. That's just a wrestling in general, whichever.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that I'll never go back and watch. This Trish promo was absolutely god awful.
Yeah.
I don't even know how else to describe it. It was just revolting.
No, come on.
No, it sounded really fake and weird.
Yeah, forced.
And all over the place. But
Yeah.
Becky returned and beat her up at the end, so all is well in Becksville, but all is not well in Scoop Slamville because I'm going to have to watch this feud play out and I don't want to.
Can we go by Scoop City?
Okay, yeah, that fits better.
Okay. Yeah, man. Trish's delivery was just not right here. And I never noticed, well, I very rarely notice piped in crowd noises, but it did not sound like legitimate boos here. It felt like they was piping in some boos because I don't know if Trish is getting the heat that they want.
I think it absolutely was piped in because it did not.
Yeah,
It just didn't come across well. I really don't know what she was trying to get at, what the end of the promo was going to be, nor how this advanced the feud at all, aside from just Becky returning. I don't know. It was a spectacle to behold for how uncomfortable it was.
Yeah. I don't know if Trish is going to be able to pull off this heel act in 2023, man.
Well, the first promo was a little weird and all over the place, but she closed it well with the I'm not your childhood fantasy, I'm not a nostalgia act, I'm Trish Stratus, and you're gonna respect me or whatever. I was like, oh, okay, I can get behind that. But this, ooh, buddy, you got a long way to go.
She used to sound more natural on the mic, though. I don't know what happened, age or her being rusty, but I don't. Yeah, man. This should be one of the last in-ring Trish promos.
I think probably just being away from it, like you said, rust. I would at least think that would be it, but I don't know.
Because she did her best work as a heel in the mid 2000s and the early 2000s. So
Yeah.
You figure she could just jump back in and get some heat, but I don't know. Maybe it's the material they're giving to her, man. She's not feeling it, but yeah.
Probably more scripted now. And I mean, that was 20 years ago, so.
Dang. Yeah, that was.
Make you feel old.
Okay, you're just going to keep on calling me old throughout the podcast, Micah? Are you buy Kane?
Well, the caskets are $7,000. You might want to save up.
Oh, man. I did a discount at Walmart.
Walmart Plus.
Oh, come on. Yeah. What else we got on the show?
Well, Cody was in the back, and he was talking about, if Brock wants to fight, I'm going to give him a fight. Not a whole lot of takeaways. I had one scoop. he said, by every measurable stat, I've been the man around here, which is true, and he should flaunt that. And it's just another reason why I should have beat Roman at WrestleMania.
You're not gonna let that go, are you?
No, I'm not. Until they give me a reason to stop saying it, I'm gonna keep saying it.
Yeah, I didn't really. It was okay promo. I didn't really make none of it.
Yeah, I like that line because it was like, I don't know. He kind of proved himself, I guess, because he's not wrong.
Every week he'll drop a little quote like that where you
Mm-hmm.
can, where it's memorable. So I give him that.
Well, we made it to the main event. 2
Oh, my.
hours later.
Jeez.
3 hours if you're the poor soul who had to sit through Raw the whole way.
Yeah.
For the World Heavyweight Championship semifinal to determine who will go to Night of Champions, Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Did we just see this match a couple weeks ago, or am I just not?
No, we did. Yeah, it happened.
Okay, yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
And I just didn't really care. I mean, I know it's for a chance at the title, but I knew Finn wasn't going to win because he's just kind of been a mid-card guy, and Seth is ridiculously over, and I don't care for him, but it was extremely obvious who was going to win. And yeah, this is why I would have rather seen Priest and Seth, personally, because it would have been something different, and like, I think I would have had an easier time believing that Priest could have snuck over Seth than Finn. And it would have been a better match.
To be fair, though, Micah, I mean, how much time was Priest and Seth probably going to get in the main event of Raw? Probably not as much as they need. So I don't mind keeping them apart into like a big main event of a pay-per-view.
If that's where they go, then I will be 100% down for that. But if that's not where they go, and I got a good feeling they probably won't, then I don't know.
Well, I mean, they kind of have to. Who's a heel on Raw?
Brock. I don't know. I don't remember who got drafted.
That's what I'm saying, man. I mean, they're probably gonna have to go to Priest pretty soon.
Yeah, and I think that could be a good feud and a good match. I won't pay to see it, obviously, but I would pay my free time to see it.
We pay Peacock every month. It's not, it's not
Well,
so we go to crime to see these pay-per-views, Micah.
You pay them. I just kind of blow them off your account.
Whoa. That's not true, Peacock. We both pay.
Well. Nah, I'm just messing. Anyways, yeah, you can tell we've been on this show for a minute.
Yeah, we've been here a while.
And it just, there wasn't a whole lot on Raw, but Seth and Finn had 2 scoops. The buckle bomb to the barricade was nice. I like that little part, and they mentioned that was what hurt Finn in their Universal Championship match, so yeah, that was a cool little nod. And yeah, I mean, solid match. I don't like it, but I understand why Seth is in this spot, so yeah, I'll give it to him because he's over like crazy. They sung it throughout the entire Omos match. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Yeah, man. At a certain point, you can't just say it's just the song. It's him, because they don't sing Shinsuke's song throughout the whole match. They don't sing Cody's song throughout the whole match. They don't sing Jungle Boy's song throughout the whole match. I think it's just Seth, man. People are just liking what he's doing right now. I mean, we don't see it, but their fan base is out there, and they love them some Seth Rollins, and he's the biggest, probably the 3rd or maybe 4th biggest star they have in the company. So I don't see a problem with him winning on the Raw side. I think he's going to win the world title at Night of Champions. And yeah, as far as the match goes that they had, Seth versus Finn, I thought it was okay. Nothing crazy. I did like Corey mentioning the Joel Embiid curb stomp spot. I thought that was really nice and really well done. If you're you're an NBA fan, you probably know Joel Embiid, a MVP center, just straight curb stomped a player on the Boston Celtics. And yeah, Corey Graves shouts it out. I thought he gets some kudos in my book. But man, as far as a Raw go, let me rate it so we can get up out of here because we've been on this call way too long.
Yeah.
We watched the hour and a half version, so I'm not gonna bury this show. I give it like a 6.
Spot on. Yeah, I was going to go somewhere around there, but yeah. Let's meet.
You got 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was here. I didn't hate my hour and a half that I watched, but if I had sat through it for 3, I might have.
Yeah. This should be
But
protocol
again,
on the Elite Weeks.
yeah. Oh, they are. But again, I mean, it just a good pay-per-view and an alright show to follow it up with. Again, they don't invest as much into their TV product being great as they do their pay-per-views. So, all in all, though, a fun pay-per-view and a good show here at the Scoop Slam podcast. Make sure to share us with your friends. Make sure to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Scoop Slam Pod. We will be back, hopefully, fingers crossed. Wow.
Ooh,
Making up new words to close us.
Sound it out.
Fingers crossed, we'll be back for our SmackDown and Dynamite review show for the second week in a row. I'm surprised we got it last week.
That's a record for us.
But again, make sure to check us out there. We'll be back next week. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you had a great weekend watching BackLash. And hope you have a great weekend when you see us again. Have a good one.